Fellas, episode 69. This is potentially, not potentially, this is the most loaded episode we've had yet.
Oh, it's loaded, all right.
It's loaded like a loaded nacho.
Like a baked potato.
Like a baked potato, sour cream, cheese, onions, bacon I already said sour cream, peppers on there.
Peppers? Who puts peppers on it?
A little slash green pepper. Green pepper ain't never heard nobody.
Maybe some maybe a little red onions or something, maybe.
Whatever it is, we've got it in this episode.
You name it, we got it.
Thank y'all for tuning in. This is episode 69, like I said, of Division 1 Rejects, recording on July 25th. Our guest today, we've got a good conversation for you. Jake Hlava from GVSU, former defensive lineman from there, just graduated last year. He was a first-team All-GLIAC selection on their D-line. Really good talk with him about his shot in the CFL with the Toronto Argonauts, right? Toronto?
Yep.
So really good talk with him about that opportunity. He's far from finished, so definitely tune in for that conversation. But fellas, we finally get to talk about the GLIAC. We finally get to talk about our ball. The GLIAC Media Day happened today down in Detroit, so got to hear all the teams talk. Had our boys DeAndre and John McMullen down
Shout
there.
out, baby.
They represented.
Cats.
They represented. Hey, they looked good, and they spoke well.
Yep.
Hey, I saw John with the Jordans on today. Those shoes are clean.
They were great. Turtleneck with the jacket over, with the J's.
Dre had the clean little suit.
Shout out Coach Nice, too. He was looking good.
Coach Nice? Oh, yeah. Coach Nice always looking fresh.
You got to say that. Coach Nice always cleans up.
He always fly.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously. But other than that, GLIAC-wise, the preseason rankings were released for the GLIAC, so we'll react to those here shortly after the intro and the conversation with Jake. And fellas, pretty big news out of Ferris State's camp. It hasn't been officially announced by Ferris State, but I'm seeing sources pick this up at a lot of different places. Ferris just added a D1 team to their schedule for 2023. That is pretty big news for the defending Division II champions. I'm not going to spoil anything. They're definitely picked to win our conference this year. No question about that one. We'll definitely get into that, talk about the Bulldogs in a lot more depth. But the NFL side of things, just as loaded. It feels like we've had some good reactions to the alternate helmets. That clip of the Bengals has been doing numbers on YouTube. We love to see that. But it feels like every team has a new alternate helmet now. We're going to be reacting to 8 of those new looks today, and the Lions still don't have any. What's up with that? What are we doing?
Honestly, keep it as simple as you can do it.
What do we want, though?
I want to fucking win is what I want to do.
The Lions,
I don't give a fuck what jersey we wear.
The Lions do not have time to mess around and get alternate helmets. They have to worry about winning.
Maybe
games.
that's what this means, is they're so locked in they don't have time for the looks.
They should delete all socials and just work. Just go to work.
That'd be boring.
You gotta have social media.
Well, they have Hard Knocks. I mean,
they do have Hard Knocks, so we'll see. We'll react to those helmets. Kyler Murray has an interesting clause in his new contract that Jimmy is excited to talk about. We will get into that later. Lamar Jackson continues to be disrespected, blatantly disrespected, if I do say so myself. We'll talk about his contract situation in Baltimore and also about the rogue comments of apparently someone who is a current defensive coordinator in the league who is absolutely slamming the Baltimore quarterback.
It's probably the Steelers' defensive coordinator.
It has to be.
But here's the thing. That guy must not watch film.
That's what I'm saying. He's just a personal vendetta. We'll get into it, but man, those words came from a low place in the heart.
How can you say he's not a good quarterback?
Right? So we're going to get into that. Otherwise, more Madden rankings were released. We have the top 10 quarterbacks and the team ratings, finally, for Madden. And another delusional Tyreek headline. He says that Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. That pains me.
Well, we know why. We know why.
I mean, but why is he double down?
I got to give Tua can put the ball on target.
So can every other NFL quarterback.
Yeah, so can Brian Hoyer.
Is he forgetting about Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Who have been in this league forever.
We also, if I recall, we talked about this before.
Yeah, we had a lengthy conversation about backing up your quarterback, backing up your guy, and I get it. But as
always, good for Tyreek though. You got to have a lot of balls to double down on that, especially coming from Patty.
But as always, you can watch this episode on YouTube. Do not forget about the timestamps. I say it every time. That little red bar at the bottom of the screen. You want to hear about Tyreek? You want to see those helmets? Get over there. Then you can dip. But we'd appreciate it personally if you stuck around. Otherwise, you can listen pretty much anywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. Follow us on Twitter at
D1_rejects.
And on Instagram at
Division 1 Rejects.
To see highlights from the show, fellas. Before we get into all that juicy content I'm pumped about today, let's go talk to the man, Jake, from Grand Valley.
The Night King.
Joining us today is a man who got his start at Northern Illinois. He made his way to Grand Valley State. He's thrown together some pretty dominant seasons for the Lakers on the D-line. Was a first-team All-GLIAC selection this past fall. The Night King himself, Jake Hlava. Jake, how are you doing tonight, man? I'm glad to have you on the show tonight, brother.
Doing great, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be supporting some fellow GLIAC guys.
Yeah, seriously. We always try to get the GLIAC guys on, but you are someone that I definitely wanted to get on, not only because of the you had a solid career in the GLIAC, but also going on to that next level, getting a shot at the CFL. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Night King, I got to assume you're big Game of Thrones guy, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always not always, but recently, like what was it, like 2019, I was a little late to the Game of Thrones party, but as soon as I got into it, what was it, like season maybe 3 or 4, they introduced Night King, and I just thought he was like the coolest thing ever. And like everybody's got their alter ego and shit. Like I think Rashawn Gary's got Bane. And I was like, nobody's got the Night King, so I was like, that's gonna be my thing for sure.
I love that. That's a celebration every time, right? Right here.
A little alter ego for sure.
I love that, dude. How about House of the Dragon? That's coming out kind of soon, right? You pumped for that?
Yeah.
And then Jon Snow's getting his own sequel.
End of this year, I think, sometime this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pumped for that one. My buddy put me onto that. I was not hip to the Game of Thrones game until like pretty recently, but I binged the hell out of that, and other than like the last couple episodes, really satisfied with all of that. But I guess we'll start right with GV. You came to GV as a transfer from Northern Illinois, and I always wonder, myself not being around that culture, coming in, did you gel with those guys right away? Because you're coming in as a guy who has experience at the college level. You're coming in competing for a starting spot. That's always kind of I feel like a touchy situation, depending on the program and what that brotherhood and what that team looks like. So what was that like for you?
No, yeah, just like you said, I mean, you coming in competing for a starting spot, you're a D1 transfer, you kind of expect to just walk in, but GVSU isn't like any normal like D2 program. They get a lot of D1 transfers. There's a lot of talent there. A lot of those guys pass up on like FCS offers to come to GV just because it's such a great program. So I came in there and I talked about it like in my senior speech this past fall, because we have those before the season with the seniors, and I was talking about how I kind of came in with like a toxic mindset. And I was like, screw these guys. I'm coming in. I'm gonna be the starting DN. Blah blah. I'm gonna come out of here. Kind of more selfish, but eventually it took a couple months, but eventually I really gelled with those guys. That really, my brotherhood with the guys at GVSU, it was a great experience. Wasn't what I expected. Not didn't live up to my expectations, because you come to GVSU in like the early 2000s with Brian Kelly, Chuck Martin. I mean, all those national championships and all that. So
I was gonna say, just making run after run after run.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you come there and you get recruited by them in high school. I mean, you see what they're doing over the years, and you expect to win conference championships, national championships. We had good success. I had a good experience. We were always made the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. I had a good experience, but I wish I would have got a little more. But sometimes just out of your control. I mean, you got to.
Yeah, there's just so much that's got to like fall right into the right place, especially when you talk about playoffs. Like, I mean, we saw Ferris go on a run last year that I don't know if we'll ever see again at this level, or any level for that matter, the way they dismantle teams in the playoffs. But like, even for a team like that and how talented they were, I mean, we saw that firsthand. You have to have so much shit go right for you to make it that far and to do exactly what they did. And you said it like, and this has baffled me, but like, you're totally spot on when you say guys really do leave FCS, sometimes larger Division I offers, to come play at Grand Valley. Now, whether that is for any specific reason, they've got some good recruiters over there. They play a really good brand of football. My question for you is, when the hell are they going to make the actual jump to D1? And now these guys aren't going to be giving up on other D1 offers to go to D2. We've seen some big changes in the landscape of the GLIAC in the last couple years, Northwood and Ashland being the most recent. But then even looking back further, you got schools like Findlay, Tiffin, Hillsdale, like all these schools that have left the GLIAC. When does Grand Valley join that group and make a jump up to D1?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I really don't know. I was on the leadership council this past year, so I kind of asked to have a little bit of inside information. And he only talked about it like one time, and he had mentioned it to some recruits, and it kind of seemed like it was imminent in 2023. But I saw they just came out with some stuff in they just booked some scheduling for like the upcoming years with some out of conference teams. So I don't know. It kind of seems like it's almost fading away, and I think the conference that was going to be the Ohio Valley.
Yeah, I could totally see that. That makes a lot of sense.
That conference also, it's kind of like the GLIAC, where it's it's kind of falling apart. So I think D1 makes a lot of sense for Grand Valley, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like there's really a good fit in the FCS. So honestly, I don't know if it's going to happen anymore. I mean, we'll see. I think it makes a lot of sense, but I just don't see a great fit for them right now to like conference wise,
It's tough. No, it's tough. And the only reason I ask that too is because now we see like when you have teams like Texas and Oklahoma, USC, UCLA, you might think like that doesn't affect us at all. But then you have that trickle down effect, right? You have these teams moving to now these huge power conferences in the Big Ten and the SEC. Now what happens? Those teams are grabbing schools from out of or not Power 5, Group of 5 conferences. And then what happens there? There's holes there, and that effect will trickle potentially all the way down to us at a certain level. So that's just like it's kind of a board. Yeah, it might it's kind of a board talking point, but like the speculation is there every year because and for good reason. Like Grand Valley plays really good brand of football, and not only that, right here, Jake. You guys got the money, you got the facilities, and the school size for sure. That's something that over in Allendale, it's over 20,000, right? It's got to be.
Yeah, like 25,000 plus.
Holy cow, dude. That is nuts. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, just to be completely. So is it Lubber Stadium, right? Is that you guys?
Stadium, yeah.
How many people can you fit in there? That thing is freaking huge.
Actual sitting, but like a lot of it is standing. But I think we broke at the Ferris game this year. They had like 17,000, bro. Like I played my first football game was very first football game was 2017 against Nebraska. And honestly, it compared to like how loud that was for moments. It compared to like they got like 4 or 5 like false starts in a row. It was the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, we were watching that. I remember
they had to go silent snap. Their center kept snapping it too early. It was the craziest thing ever.
Could you imagine, dude? That's like the quarterbacks on the end. They're covering the ear. Like obviously we don't have the headpieces and everything, but like you're covering the ear, like trying to get the dude. Yeah, that's exactly, dude.
You got the home quarterback.
Exactly.
Quiet down.
We come to Lubbers this year too, and I'm assuming that's why you asked because we're Grand Valley's homecoming game this year. So I'm hoping that'll be a good showing. We'll see. Depends on what we do. I think in the beginning of the season, as far as what kind of games we win. Homecoming last year was Northwood homecoming last year.
For us, yeah.
So. But I heard from someone that I forget if it was Michigan State or something else. There was some big time game that pulled a lot of people away from that one. That's probably true?
I mean, yeah, we have good fans. I mean, usually it's just for the first 2-3 games. First game's always lit. Ferris is always great.
Yep.
And then maybe one more, and then obviously as it gets colder and the games start to get less appealing, the fans fade away slowly.
No, I hear that. And I guess moving on from that, I was looking, because I do my research, right? I try and look at all the guys you got on the podcast, and you had played in the Dream Bowl back in January. I hadn't heard anything about this, and about just giving guys another opportunity to get out and basically get more film, show their stuff for guys trying to go play at the next level. Tell me a little more about that, because I had never heard about that till I was looking through one of your feeds.
Yeah, pretty much. So that was just after my senior season. That was the first experience I really had. It was really the only all-star game. I was trying to get into the college gridiron showcase. I mean, there's 6 or 7. I mean, all of them are pretty good opportunities. Get to play in front of NFL scouts, play in front of other guys who were at some of the best players on their team. So it's all good players and everything.
I bet.
And I get up there to Virginia, and they had it was kind of a shit show, to be honest. It was in terms of just in Virginia is kind of usually somewhat of they consider it the South, so it's usually used to warm weather. So a snowstorm hits, and it's supposed to be a 4-day event, and they wrapped it into 2-3 days. So there's still a few scouts there, but what I was expecting a lot more scouts there, but you still got to be seen in front of scouts. They said all the practices were streamed, so all this NFL, CFL, whoever scouts could see them and everything, but.
Yeah, so you still got eyes on you. You still got
for
eyes
sure.
On you.
I mean, I went in there for sure, did my thing. I had 2 sacks. I had a couple TFLs on top of that. But that's all I can really ask for is just meet some other guys, some other like-minded individuals who are pursuing the same thing you are. I think they call it the Dream Bowl because it was the Martin Luther King, and that was.
That's right, because they play on MLK weekend.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So that makes sense. Yeah. Now, was that the connection to moving on to the CFL? Is that where you got to look there, or is that something that totally different?
CFL was kind of random, to be honest. I'll get into that in a minute. You want me to talk about the whole experience of the draft and all that?
For the Dream Bowl, you guys had a draft?
No. I'm saying
Oh, you're talking about CFL. Okay.
Pre-draft.
Yeah. No, for sure, dude. I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, so right after that, right after the Dream Bowl, I get back. I start training at Win Performance. This place about 30 minutes north of Chicago, right around my home area. getting ready for pro day, doing pretty well and everything. Pro day comes, doesn't fully go. It was already a pretty good pro day. Doesn't fully go how I expected though, due to some things, they were out of my control. But overall, I had a pretty good pro day. Started to wait for the draft. Draft comes around. Not hearing any calls. No mini camp invites. No undrafted free agents, anything like that. I think a lot of it is because of like the COVID, just because of like they gave a lot of people, including myself, an extra year, which was great and everything, but it just kind of stockpiled and made the 2021 class like super big.
No, I bet. And that's got to be tough. Like, not to cut you off, but that's got to be tough on the mentals, right? Like, as far as you going through that process and not knowing, like, when you don't get an invite to one of those things, like, there's got to be in the back of your head. I know you're a confident guy, but there's got to be in the back of your head, like, am I going to get a shot here? Is this going to pan out? Or what's the mindset going through that?
Yeah, no, it's real tough, man. I mean, this whole hopeful NFL long shot thing, it's not for the faint of heart. It's definitely, you gotta really love this shit, man. If you don't, I mean, it's gonna pass you by. If you're just in it for the money, I mean, you're not gonna make it, So you gotta really love this. You gotta stay ready, so to speak. You gotta be working out 5 days a week. You gotta be ready to go. So I mean, when you get that call, I mean, that you're ready, because you never really know. If you don't get a call after the draft, you don't truly necessarily know when it's going to come. It could come anytime. So,
yeah. Right place, right time, right? You got to get in front of the right people, show your stuff, do your thing like you're talking about. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, I just have one question here about kind of like, we're talking about your journey to the CFL and like kind of just waiting and seeing if you're going to make that next jump. But you see this tendency now with Division II players getting shots at the next level, and especially a lot of guys from Grand Valley where you went. I'm curious to see how did your coaches and those guys in that say front office, I should say, kind of market you out and get you some looks from the CFL, or did they give out personal texts or emails? Did they really help you out with that, or is it kind of a personal, like get your own agent type of thing?
For sure, because I feel like they probably have those type of connections. Like you said, there's definitely a long line of guys that have made that jump. But
a little bit. I would say it's mostly on the agent and all that. I mean, he just if they come to him, he says he speaks the truth. He's not gonna sugarcoat anything. He wants to maintain good relationships with all these scouts. So what you've done over the years, that's what he's going to talk about, basically it. But no, I mean, we don't really talk about it that much, with the coaches. I mean, they just kind of handle it. And he basically said, if you're not like a sure thing, if you're not like a Matt Judon had like 20 sacks, I mean, there's
freaks too. You definitely have your exceptions, like a guy like that. And obviously he's made more than what I think anyone had expected out of him. He's an absolute freak. And what year is this for him in the league now?
I don't know, but like he's saying, numbers speak volumes. So
yeah,
like you're not going to get a look if you don't have numbers, especially at like a D2 school. It's like, let's be honest, like you gotta ball out.
You gotta actually fill the book to get a shot.
That's why the pro day is so important, which kind of sucks because you're just a number on a sheet.
Right.
But at the same time, if you don't have like crazy numbers, I mean, a lot of it's you gotta do some stuff at your pro day. So
no, I believe that for sure. Now, moving on to like when you did get your chance, when you got your shot with the Argonauts, how did that come about? You said it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just sitting at home. What is this, like late May? I'm just getting ready for my next week of workouts. Just sitting at home, doing some stretches in my basement on a Sunday. And then, my agent hits me up out of nowhere. I'm just like, why is he calling me? And then he's like, yeah, you might be in luck with the Toronto Argonauts. They're interested. They had some guys go down. They might be interested in you. And then 30 minutes later, I'm signing a contract. He's sending me the PDF. I'm ready to sign a contract. He's getting ready to book a flight and everything. So honestly, that was just a surreal experience. One moment, I'm in Illinois, getting ready for another week of workouts, working out for God knows what. And then, next day, I'm boarding a flight to Canada to play pro football. And honestly, it moves that fast. And that's like, that shows the importance of, staying ready. So you don't have to get ready. Cause I was always going to stay ready. Cause I always had hope in my heart that I would get that opportunity. But I mean, you never truly knew. There was a lot of just like radio silence, like agents not saying anything, then boom, all of a sudden, I'm flying out.
Just like that. And it's tough, I imagine too, because like you said, you're working out, you're staying ready, but like, there's no obvious end in sight per se. You know what I mean? There's nothing like chiseled out for you, ready to go. It's just like something has to happen. Like you said, they had a few guys go down, so you fit a role for them. You address a need potentially for them. Who's the first person you told after you got that call, after you got off the phone?
I mean, I was kind of emotional about it. So my mom's like, "What's going on? Is everything okay?" I was like, "I'm signing with Toronto Argonauts." So kind of my mom, and then I told like my trainer, another close friend. So those were kind of like the first people I told. Yeah, my dad. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
just kind of reflecting on that story you told, you kind of have to some similarities between. I mean, I feel like everyone remembers their first offer. You know, your first college offer. You're always going to remember that.
True.
How does that kind of like? What were the emotions like when you get that call from not a college team but a professional team? I mean, I can't imagine. Like I damn near cried when I got my first college offer.
I'm gonna say
You
it's
know
gotta
what
be
I mean?
like that, just times.
It's like
a
it's got to
million,
be just freaking ecstatic. I can't even imagine you're sitting in your basement, like you said, like you're not expecting a CFL team to call you and be like, hey, like sign a contract and get down here or get up here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get up.
Obviously, yeah, you're just like grateful, sigh of relief. Obviously, I was hoping the always dream was. I'm not gonna like act like my dream was to play in the CFL. It's a great opportunity and everything. But like the dream was always in the NFL. That would have hit way more different, way different. But CFL was definitely cool. I was obviously just grateful for an opportunity, and I was finally getting a chance. Finally had someone to believe in me, and that was really satisfying.
Hell
No,
yeah.
that's a good feeling. Not even like football, just in general, but I mean anywhere in life. Like you got someone that can, backs you up and believes in your ability. Is going to take really, because that's what it comes down to. They're taking a chance on you, right? Now you had hinted at it when I talked to you about before coming on the show. Just talking about some of the challenges in making it in the CFL, and I don't know, like from being in America, what that kind of dynamic had to do with it. But what were some of those tough aspects of going up there and trying to compete in that league?
Well, the first thing is I showed up in like the middle of camp, so they had already just done a separate rookie mini camp. They were like practice 5-6, and that was like the injuries. Like I said, they decided to bring me in, so I was kind of behind the 8 ball in terms of like learning the Canadian game, which I'll get into in a second, and B, just learning the scheme and everything, and also like everyone already having their feet wet, and me just having to go from being off the street to boom, I'm hitting the field practicing. But
With some dudes, by the way. Like you're not. Yeah, exactly.
You want me to get into who was on the D line?
Dude, you go for it, man. I'm
All right,
I'm all ears.
So I get in there. I get into the first day, and I immediately notice in like the film room. And we got like Shane Ray, first round pick, 2015 with the Broncos, played in the Super Bowl with Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware. We had Coney Ely, second round pick, 2014. He had 2 sacks in the Super Bowl that year when Cam Newton
Played in the Panthers, right? Yeah.
Yep, he had 2 sacks.
I know Ely. Yeah, I remember that name.
That is nuts.
Sean Oakman, internet legend.
Ooh, no way,
bro. Yeah.
Oakman was on that D line, dog.
Yeah, he was a giant.
Yeah,
I was saying,
shit.
in person is exactly the same as the memes, or what?
Yeah, I mean his voice. I mean, if you've seen like Lord of the Rings, like the orcs, like how deep, like they talk. That's literally Sean Oakman. He's like every bit.
That's sick, bro.
Every bit is 6'7", damn near 6'9". Like he's a real life giant. He's
Dude, that is. I mean, you just like list those guys off, but it's like, it's got to be easy to remember those guys because not only those guys are physical specimens, but also just the lengths and the levels of football these guys have played to be thrust right into that. I mean, that's something else, dude. That's wild.
Yeah, it was just like very humbling, very cool, to be a part of like a position group with that level of talent and experience. And at that point, like, I was only like I remember thinking to myself, I was only like a few days in, like I haven't made the roster yet, and I don't know if I'm going to make it, but like I've really made it in a sense. If I'm in the same spot as all these guys who've been at the highest level and all that, then like, I've made it to, the professional level. Like not many people can say that. So
exactly. And that's what I was telling you is like, roster or not, how one game, a preseason game or an entire season, like getting to that level is such an accomplishment. And that's why like, I'll take anyone on here who's even gotten the chance to do that from the Division II, Division III, whatever level, you know what I mean? Because that's what we're all about,
football,
dude. That's
man,
what we're all about.
I mean?
Exactly. It's exactly what it is. So, but man, that's nuts. And I'm kind of in awe about that. But for you, you don't have time to sit there and be a fan. You can't be a fanboy, right? Because you're competing with these guys. So talk about, that, and you can't sit there and be in awe. Like those are your teammates. They're like potential teammates.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of like moment of awe, but like at the same time, I'm competing for a job. This is my dream. I want to this roster. So I show up. The first day, I'm honestly, I'm impressed. I'm impressed a pretty good amount. A lot of people are asking like, oh, where'd you play? Like literally, like who are you? Like you just showed up. You got this like bullshit ass 79 jersey on out there. Getting after the quarterback. They're like, who is this guy? Where did you play? All that, blah blah blah. And honestly, just like I was talking about, how is it like that I made it moment. It was like another moment is like, what was it, like practice 2 or 3? You know, you got Shane coming up to me, you know, in the film room, and he's like, I can tell you're polished. You know, you got a good double swipe, you got a good long arm. We're watching film, and guys are like, I'm pass rushing or making moves or something, and guys are like, ooh, you know, like when you're watching film and somebody does like something pretty sweet, you know,
that feels good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
like
feels good.
getting that acknowledgement from guys who played with literally Hall of Famers, like Shane played with Vaughn and DeMarcus, where Coney Ely played with like Jared Allen. So if those guys, you know, are oohing on and like complimenting me, you know, that's pretty much all I need to know. Like that I, you know, have gotten to like the highest level of my craft. You know, I'm among that 1-2%, whatever it is.
It's reassurance. It's from like the highest level, like you said. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I already knew it in my heart of hearts, not to be like overconfident or anything, but I always knew that I had what it takes to play at that level. But just like you said, the reassurance, hearing it from the guys was everything. That's all I needed to hear.
I'm gonna say hearing it from someone else is huge because like obviously you're gonna be confident. Like nobody in that league was ever like, oh, I can't go play in the CFL. I can't go play in the NFL. They all gotta believe in themselves, which is awesome. But yeah, you kind of said like challenges with playing Canadian ball. Is there anything that stands out immediately as far as the style of game?
Yeah. So going into it, I had gone to a CFL trial a couple weeks earlier with Montreal. So I'd gotten a little bit of reps at like there's a yard off the ball. You have to be a yard off the ball instead of like the neutral zone between the O-line, D-line. So I knew about that, and I knew about the longer and wider field. I think the playing field is 110 yards. The end zones are 20 yards, and there's like a goalpost at like in the middle of like the end zone. So it's kind of weird. So I already knew about that, but as I got there and day by day, I felt like there was a new rule I learned about like every day. It was honestly crazy. Like there's 12 I didn't even know this. There's 12 players on each side of the ball. It's pretty much just like an extra DB.
12 instead of 11?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either, dude. I knew about the end zones, about the neutral zone thing. I didn't even. I feel like I've watched some CFL ball too, and it just doesn't jump out to you.
It's 3 downs for offense, so that definitely affected like game flow and everything. You know, like teams don't really. I mean, you only can run the ball on first down. That's pretty much it. So it's a lot. It's a big time passing league. There's lots of motion. You know, it's not just like the NFL where one player can motion. This really messed with my eyes in the first game, because there's all this motion in the backfield, and you just don't want to get cut off from, you know, your gap as a DN. So there's a lot of motion, a lot of window dressing going on in the back.
No, that's a good word choice. The window dressing for sure. No, they can get a head start towards the line of scrimmage, correct? Yeah, that's got to be nuts.
Awful for DBs, especially.
Yeah.
It's always hard enough.
I was gonna say, dude, he's like,
Jesus.
Dude's already coming full speed at you, and now you gotta like, there's gotta be like no pressing in this league.
Yeah, most of the rules are definitely tailored to the offense. Then, kind of like what I was getting into, like also there's a small roster size. You know, the NFL is 53. Canada's only 45, and there's also on the amount of Americans that you can have on the team. I think it's like 22 or 23 out of 45 could be American. So they try to tailor it so it's not like fully overrun by Americans. And there has to be out of like the 24 starters, 7 of them have to be Canadian. So there's a lot of rules in place.
That I did not know either. I didn't know they had limits on any of that.
That's kind of weird. Like it should just be whoever like the best player is.
Yeah, but they don't want their I get it. Like they don't want their brand.
You don't
of
want it to be saturated with Americans. I get it, because it's a Canadian football league, of course.
So
I get it.
I kind of did know about that, dude. We have a coach here, Jake. His name's Bobby Jurison.
Yeah.
He's actually the all-time sacks leader, I believe, in the CFL.
He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah,
he's a Hall of Famer in the CFL. So he every now and then he gives us a little bit of insight on the CFL, and we got a bunch of respect for those guys, especially here at Northern, because you know we try to get guys over there, seniors that are graduating and all that. You know, we try to do that. But yeah, so a bunch of respect for the CFL, and I mean, like we said, any place after college football, like you can't be more grateful.
No,
like
totally. And like, you know, like that didn't pan out for you, this opportunity didn't, but who's to say that something very similar, even at the next level, can come up down the line? Like there's no saying, you know, in that regard. But you know, looking down that line, what is next for you? Are you eyeing one of the spring leagues coming up here, or is there another move that you're going to try and make?
Yeah, you know, obviously, reflecting on the whole experience, I feel like I went in there, did my thing. You know, it was kind of hard to make an impression because I came in, it was like the last 2 weeks, and I only had like 5 or 6 full practices, 2 preseason games. So I mean, you think about like your camp, it's kind of hard to make an impression to make a roster within that short.
It's hard to make an impact. Yeah,
and especially when guys already have contracts, guaranteed money. Some of these guys have a lot more. Like a big thing I heard somebody saying who also got cut. There's a lot of like clout in this league. There's a lot of player turnover, and once you get your foot in the door, you're kind of good. It's just really hard, especially as an American, like we just said, to get your foot in the door into the CFL. But once you get in, usually you're good, and you can definitely bounce from team to team. But as you were saying, I feel like my journey's far from finished. I don't really when I got caught, I wasn't really tripping about it too much. I knew that I made a strong impression. If somebody gets hurt, I think they could definitely bring me back, or maybe another team in the CFL will bring me in. If not, the XFL is looking like a great opportunity.
Oh yeah, we're big XFL guys over here, Jake. We are all in on the XFL. I love it, dude.
I think that's going to be a great league, and just staying ready for that. I think the draft's coming up, so hopefully I get entered into the draft pool in that. Get an opportunity with them. USFL, I don't know a whole bunch about that, but honestly, those are like the 3 leagues I'm focused on right now. NFL, of course, but I feel like already being passed over once. I feel like I'm gonna have to go to one of these leagues, prove myself, get some film, and then maybe hopefully the NFL, which is always a dream to
100%.
Get back there. But I mean, regardless, I feel like I belong at the pro level in some capacity. I don't want to be like overconfident or anything, but I just know what I've done, to how much I put into this. I know the numbers that I've done through testing, stats, film, all that. I've seen other people in my position, and I just feel like I belong at this level, and I'm
like you stack up.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Hey, wherever you end up, brother, wherever you get another opportunity, we're gonna be rooting for you, man. I appreciate you.
Hell yeah,
little boy Jake, huh?
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you, Jake.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Like I said, wherever you end up, stay in touch. Definitely rooting for you, my guy. But like I said, cannot appreciate you coming on enough, my man. Have a good one.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
All right, brother. I'll see you.
See you.
Shout out to the man Jake right here, fellas. That's the Night King.
I ain't gonna do it celebration.
It's okay. But that's the Night King. I thought that was awesome. Good conversation with him. He had a lot to say about the whole CFL experience. The Dream Bowl was kind of cool. I never really knew about that. A lot of cool opportunities for those guys that are really in his shoes. I just hope some of those are money grabs. I don't know if that one, you know what I mean? You see some of those that are like, pay to fly out here and stay in this resort but it sounded like he at least got some eyes on him from some professional leagues, which is a good thing for him. We really appreciated having him on. But fellas, the big news out of the GLIAC today was not only Media Day going on down in Detroit, the preseason rankings were released today for the GLIAC. We've got those pulled up here. The preseason coaches poll for the GLIAC in first. No surprise here. Ferris State, 35 votes and then 5 first-place votes. Now, I will say, number 2, Grand Valley, again, no surprise here, 32 votes and 2 first-place votes. That margin is very short. Now, the departure of Jared Bernhardt obviously has a lot to do with that. But other than that, I mean, both of these teams actually retain a lot more than I was expecting. Jimmy, what were you going to say?
So, there's 7 first-place votes because of the 7 head coaches in the GLIAC. Is that how that works?
I would assume that's how it goes. Yeah.
So obviously, I would assume that Ferris can't vote for themselves.
That's true. So one of those votes.
One other team voted for.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
So it's basically 5-1. Because
that's a good point. Actually, if that's how it's run, which would make sense.
Again, it's an assumption. I have no idea. Yeah. And Grand Valley could win the GLIAC, but we'll see. They return a lot. And that losing Jared Bernhardt is going to be tough for them. Their offense is going to look a lot different this year. But going back to the rest of the rankings, number 3, you got 3 and 4. This really is a toss-up. Michigan Tech and Saginaw Valley. 24 votes for Michigan Tech, 22 for Saginaw Valley. We saw those teams go at it up in Kearley Stadium in Houghton in the last week of the season. Michigan Tech pulled that one out by, I believe, a touchdown, if not less. It was a very close game. Now, those 2 teams actually double up each other this year. Saginaw Valley, Michigan Tech will have 2 games, one up in Kearley and then one down at Randall Harvey Wicks Memorial Stadium.
Wasn't it 12-9?
No, it was more high scoring than that for sure. But 12-9.
Sorry, there was a game Tech played.
There's a weird score,
and they won like 12-9. Was it against that St.
It could have been St. Thomas. It might have been their opener. It would have been their opener.
It was like a
they have St. Thomas again this year, so that'll be interesting. Moving down the board, number 5. There we are, fellas. Northern Michigan with 14 votes to our name. Below us is Wayne State with 12 votes. And rounding out that 7th spot is Davenport with 8 votes, And you know what? I will say, I think they got it kind of on the button. And as far as preseason ranking goes, if you're looking at last year and, what kind of happened, really, I think this is just the standings, is what the standings finished as last year in the GLIAC, right? Yeah. So you can't really argue with this too much.
And I would say the best part about this list right now is that every team's record is 0-0.
That is the best part.
So
that is exactly the best part. And
teams and players getting like fired up and fed up with it. Like, go do something about it.
Yeah, seriously. You got like 10, 11 games to go prove it.
Right, exactly. So, really, this is just numbers and letters.
Yeah.
It could really, it doesn't mean shit.
There are numbers and letters up there.
Just like Coach Thomas used to say. Shout out Coach Brad Thomas.
Yeah.
Nameless, faceless.
I got a text from BT the other day, actually, and he said, because I used that. Yeah, he's been listening. So shout out him. But I used that in our conversation with Jacoby, and he texted me and said that he loved that comment about the nameless, faceless opponents. You can't hype them up. You can't think they're lesser than what they are.
All I see on that board is 0-0. Don't matter.
Exactly. So big chance for us over here at Northern to prove ourselves for sure. But as far as we move into this GLIAC season, we're definitely going to stay very objective. We're going to do a lot of coverage on GLIAC, and we're going to have opinions. Like, that's what this show is about. But at the same time, like, respecting all of our opponents. We have guests on from all the different schools on this list. I do believe we've covered. We've had Wayne, we had SAG, Tech, Grand Valley.
I don't think we've had them Davenport.
We have Davenport is the one I believe we're missing.
What about Ferris?
So,
we had Caleb Murphy.
Smith.
Sorry.
Smith is on. Yeah. But other than that, we got to get a guy from Davenport on. We got to make that happen. But otherwise, you've got pretty good GLIAC representation. But like I said, guys, I think they actually, this list, from what we know in the past, this list makes sense.
Yep.
So definitely cool about that. Otherwise, I wanted to talk about the media day a little bit as a whole. Did you guys tuned in for that today?
Me and Kate were watching. We were at work actually.
On the Gator today. We were dragging logs around listening
on the golf course, listening to the media day.
We were watching and listening. Yeah.
So, what were your impressions of just like the production wise of like how that media day was run?
So, to be completely honest with you, I only watched the Tech and the Northern interview.
That's okay
because we were kind of busy at work. But
we kind
of just turned on the live stream and Tech was on, and then we were right after Tech. So,
I will say for the most part, I watched Grand Valley, Tech, Northern, obviously, and then I think what was after Saginaw after Northern, or was it Davenport? Whoever was after us, I watched the first four. It was
Saginaw.
I watched the first four.
Yeah,
and I would say this:
Davenport was first.
I thought that was compared to last year with the Zoom.
Yep.
I think that was really important to get kind of like the GLIAC back in person.
Yeah.
I feel like that gives a lot more people more opportunities to get on social media and people to get there. And it's easier. It's way easier to ask questions not on a Zoom call. You know what I mean?
My thing about it was it needed to be more fun. It was so uptight. And it was so.
And the interviews lasted like maybe 2-3 minutes.
I know the whole thing.
Our guys drove
brief.
7 hours to go down there. You know what I mean? But it's great. I think it's great for our conference. I think that
it's necessary for sure.
I still think the GLIAC is just undoubtedly slept on. Like the football that is played here, just like. From other people that don't know, like
you heard
casual football
literally
fans.
Every coach that went there talked about how we're the best league in the country.
Yeah,
like they all
casual football fans. You know what I'm saying? True. Casual football fans, and I think that it's every year it's really eye opening. And
wake 'em up.
There's great football played week in and week out, no matter who you're playing.
Yeah,
you got to go in there, and it's like
100%.
I think that everyone was really well spoken for the most part. Obviously, our boys did the best, because
of course. They actually, I genuinely though, they did a really good job.
There
were a couple of guys you could tell, weren't extremely comfortable in front
of
a crowd like that.
And,
the nerves came out. But you can't blame those guys. It's not what they do. They're here to play football and go to school. They're not
even Dre and John. They're 6-year guys.
Yeah.
And John's talking about how he's a little nervous. It's good though. You want to be nervous.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's kind of my takeaway. It's a little uptight, and when that happens, to me, you get very stereotypical. Repeated answers. We're talking about we're only looking at this one game at a time.
Right.
The only week that matters is next week. And then the guys like, I'm just here to help my team win.
Well, Grand Valley, they didn't talk about winning first game or the next game.
I know. Yeah.
They went straight to the college football committee and.
Well, Matt Mitchell did drop that though. He dropped that. He was like, yeah, because he asked him about Ferris and he was like, well, we're one game at a time. He did give that. He gave that answer just like anyone else. But you could tell their sights were definitely set on, the future. They got to get through.
I can't believe that Abe Swanson's kid's back.
I know. He's a dog. He actually gave us a follow on the Twitter.
Nice.
So I might have to get him on because he was solid. Him and Borchert were the linebackers first team.
He's a hell of a player. I'll give him that.
He was good,
watching him firsthand. He's a hell of a player.
Yeah, he was a dog. But I just that was my takeaway from that is I want to see more energy. I want to see those guys loose, and it's hard in that environment because you have media members and cameras pointed at you. Like we know, even when we get guys in here, this is a pretty relaxed environment. People get a little bit tense if they are not used to being on camera.
Hunter Denny.
Yeah, Hunter Denny is. But you know what?
Petey? Shout out Petey.
I gotta make my case. I gotta hit up our guy Cam. I want to host that thing next year.
Damn right, boy.
I want to host that thing next year. That's going to be my goal. And I'm saying it on here so that I actually follow through and do that. I don't know if they would let me, but man, I want to host that thing. I think
imagine Kobe goes for like 102 touchdowns against Davenport and he's interviewing him. What are you guys going to do next year?
No.
Well, hopefully tackle your ass.
No, but like in all seriousness, like as far as I think they might actually be game for it, as far as me being a journalism major at a GLIAC institution playing football.
Well, that's a hell of a story for GLIAC too.
So wait, hold on.
Exactly.
Let me ask you something. What if, like Kate said, you have this crazy year and Nystrom wants to bring you to the media day?
Well, I'm not a veteran. That wouldn't really happen.
But hypothetically, what would you do?
I'd much rather host it.
Really?
100%, dude. Come on. You look at me, Jim. That's what I want to do.
I know,
man.
but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Okay.
But I just
had to ask the question.
No, for sure. I'm going to hit up our guy Cam.
Fly.
Yeah. I'm a peacock. You got to let me spread my wings. Great movie. Just watched that yesterday, actually.
Other guys?
Oh, if you're not on that, what are you doing? But I'm going to make my pitch. I got to hit up our guy Cam again. Might try and get him back on the podcast too, because we had a good conversation with him.
Yeah.
But that was kind of my spiel about that. I think I do really want to be a bigger part of that. I want to make that event mean more for the GLIAC.
Yeah.
And for it to be a lot more fun, man. We got to get people more, like you said, more eyes in the GLIAC. And I think that's one way that you could very easily do it. But that's all on that. Let's talk more GLIAC-wise, though. Let's talk about Ferris. And I alluded to it earlier. They added a Division I team to their 2023 football schedule. That team is Montana in the Big Sky Conference. And like I said, none of it has been officially announced. That was my pathetic attempt at a drum roll, if you guys didn't pick up on that.
That was good. It was good.
Yeah, all right. You did what you could.
But they added Montana. Like I said, it has not been officially announced, but I've been seeing it on, I do my snooping on Reddit. I've got footballschedules.com pulled up here. I've seen it at 4 or 5 different sites, and it was posted on Montana's, some type of their social accounts. But they've been added to the 2023 schedule, and, that's a big pickup for Ferris State. We've seen them pick up some big opponents this year. Lenore Ryan is a big one that they picked up. They're playing them week 2, I believe. Lenore Ryan is a premier Division II football team, maybe make the playoffs the last, I don't even know how many years. Now, I will say more of the details here. Like I said, none of this has been set in stone, but this is what's being reported. Montana will host Ferris State at Washington Grizzly Stadium in Missoula, Montana, on Saturday, September 16th, 2023. The Grizzlies will pay the Bulldogs how much? We got guesses? How much are they making?
It's got to be.
It's FCS. They don't have crazy banks.
Six figures.
6 figures? It's 6 figures.
$800K.
Oh, okay. No, not that big.
I'm gonna say like 220.
Now you're in that ballpark.
I honestly don't know.
They're paying the Bulldogs. It's interesting because at this level you don't really
see it. Yeah.
They're paying the Bulldogs $175,000 guaranteed for playing the game, according to a copy of the contract that is supposed to have been leaked.
Now, if they win,
that's the thing. Is there a stipulation in there? We don't know. That is a guaranteed money. So when we talk about like Kyler's contract, how much is guaranteed? Are there like incentives? Are there things that could make that number go a little higher?
So I'm looking here at Montana's year last year, and they had a 10-3. I mean, they're tied for 3rd in the conference. They were
the Big Sky's a good conference.
They were 6-1 at home, so that's got to be a pretty tough. I would imagine some people would go out to that game.
Dude, Kobe, pull up Montana Stadium. It's actually like really, really cool.
The Grizz, Montana Grizzlies.
Dude, the stadium is sick, dude. It's one of the coolest views in like the entire country.
Really?
It's like the middle of the mountains, dude.
I can't say I've.
It's incredible.
Actually seen it before.
You gotta pull it up, show the viewers, dude. Dude, it's beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
It's breathtaking, dude.
I will say, Kobe.
All right, hold up. You gotta give me a second to get my things going.
Look at that, dude.
This is Montana Stadium.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
And you'd have to imagine that's one of the bigger games. You have to imagine that's one of the biggest games.
Those stands are packed, but my gosh, that is sick. You literally just dropped it right in the middle of this like clutch of mountains.
Yep. That's sick, dude.
That's badass.
Good for Ferris State. That's good for Division II and the GLIAC.
Oh, that's huge.
I really think you're going to start seeing more of that. Especially with the Grand Valleys and the Ferrises. I really do think you're going to start seeing more cross Division I, low Division I levels.
I think
especially if you have a year like Ferris State had, I think that makes it an absolutely obvious choice.
They're pretty much saying, you think this is a fluke, like, here we go. Let's go do this now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I will say, one of their other out-of-conference games is playing Butler, which is in that Pioneer League, the D1 non-scholarship team. Dude, I said it earlier today.
I think Ferris is going to kill Butler.
They're not. No, sorry. One of Montana's other out-of-conference games. Ferris is not playing them. But what I was going to say, I think Ferris would mop the floor with Butler.
I think they would too.
I've seen a game at Butler when I went on my official visit or unofficial visit to Butler. They played Indiana Wesleyan, to NAIA school. They beat them in overtime.
Dude.
And I don't know if Butler's come that far. There's a couple good teams in that league, in that Pioneer League. I know Davidson actually had a really good squad. I've seen them play. They've got a team over there. And some of those schools will have good years, like the Drakes, the Valpos. Dayton has had a decent squad in the past. But, I'd take Ferris against any of them.
Dude.
That last year's Ferris
without
team.
question, dude.
And we may, let's be honest, we may be a little biased.
Of course we are.
Let's be honest.
Just a little
Let's be
bit.
honest. Like, we've seen, well, I haven't yet, but you guys have seen Ferris play it's like right in front of you, because I didn't travel last year, so I didn't get to see him play. But I did get the pleasure to see Grand Valley, and the fact that Ferris and Grand Valley, like, just duel it out every time they play, like, these teams are legit. Montana's in for a nice surprise.
They have their hands full. They have their hands full with Ferris.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if that's at Montana or
Is it next
Ferris.
year or the year after that?
2023, so this is next year.
Oh,
correct?
nice.
That's big time.
I wonder if it's before they play us.
I don't know. Like I said, it hasn't been officially announced on their schedules as far as where it sits on Ferris's schedule. But either way, man, I am like...
That's sick, man.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see that happen.
Yeah, good for Ferris State.
Let's move over to the NFL side of things, fellas. Like I talked about in the beginning, it feels like every damn NFL team has released a new alternate helmet this week. We're gonna rifle through. I want to rate them. Let's get like a 1 through 10, I guess, or like just like a cool or not cool.
Just
you
put
know what I mean?
No, just put a picture up. We'll all give a rate and then go to the next one.
Yeah, we've got 8 of them to react to. The first one here is the Eagles, all black. Let me zoom in a little bit more on that guy.
I actually love that.
I think that's clean as hell.
Like an 8.5.
I really like that.
I'm gonna go.
I really like that. I guess we don't have to do numbers. I could get repetitive, but just kind of talk about it. Like they have black uniforms too, correct?
I can already see Jalen Hurts just absolutely
That again
dripping in that helmet. In those black jerseys, dude.
I'm with you though.
He's like the ultimate like swag master, Jalen Hurts. Like he's going to rock that helmet.
Dude, especially when he got to Oklahoma, I think is where he actually turned on that. Like,
not week 1 though. They're gonna get wiped by the Lions, but after that, it'll be fine.
I think it was getting out of that Saban regime. Not no shot there, obviously, but like they win games. But like, you go to Oklahoma, you
Saban to
swag meter to the max.
To what's his face?
Lincoln Riley, right?
Riley, yeah. There's a lot. There's different.
Who's now at USC? I mean, that's like
talk about freaking swag, like clout chasers. Lincoln Riley.
100%. So that was the Eagles. Now I'll move on to the next one here. The Patriots with a throwback look, retro look.
Fun fact for you guys:
kind of clean there.
They wore those in the Super Bowl against the Bears, and they lost 46-10.
Was that 1947?
1986, January 26th.
Look at this guy, man. Either way,
I'm glad it doesn't matter because none of us were alive.
Now, it looks like those jerseys go with that, too. Those are going to be retro uniforms as well, right?
Yeah,
that's what it looks like?
I hate the Patriots. Those are sick.
Those are badass. Yeah. That
I can't say I hate the Patriots. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I know why Kate hates him, but
yeah, but that like militia man on the side there, with like the Minuteman, like a Minuteman type deal. He's got a football, right? Like he's snapping the ball.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's badass,
that's
dude.
Sick. I'll give it to him. That's sick.
I'm here for that Patriots look. I don't know about that. Like, is it like a gold visor with that?
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm bought in on that, but.
You think Belichick's going to let any one of those guys wear a gold visor?
That is very true, dude. That is very true. Moving on to the next one here. We got the Cowboys with another retro look. They used to wear these, I want to say, in the 80s. Sounds about right. But this look has been around, this all-white look with the blue star. Clean, minimal. It definitely, that's the thing with this one, it looks like it feels old, not retro. And you know what I mean? Is there like you kind of get that difference?
I think it's just pretty like plain.
Exactly.
I don't have anything wrong with it. Honestly, I'm glad like the Cowboys didn't go full Cowboys here and just be super crazy. Flashy, like a chrome blue with a gold star. Like that's something.
But you kind of hear what I'm saying? Like there's a difference for me. Like that retro has so much appeal in today's day and age, whether it be like style or look or whatever. Talk about retro jerseys. This doesn't feel as much retro.
I think they try to give a little retro look with the chin pad too. You know how that's kind of like a plain, because ain't nobody wearing that anymore. I mean, except Aaron Rodgers wearing the freaking ball sack diaper.
Oh my!
You see his little chins like poke out of the tool.
Oh god! What a scumbag!
Jail. Put him in jail. Big Cat.
Hey.
Put him in jail.
Yeah. Big Cat.
And I will say. I was just telling the boys, I've got the opportunity to go down to Green Bay to cover day 1 of training camp here on Wednesday. So when this airs, it'll be tomorrow. I'm going down to film and cover day 1 of training camp.
Shout out that boy Cody Mantle.
I will have to say that to Aaron Rodgers' face.
Go to jail.
Aaron, over here, Aaron. Cody Mantle, TV6 News. Aaron, I want to make sure your chin's protected with that that ball sack diaper that you continue to wear. I brought you a new chin strap.
Could you imagine? Here, Aaron, hopefully it fits. He's
I
like,
would never have
"Cover your
another
chin."
job.
Yeah.
I would never have another job. But
If you're trying to get out of this
worth it.
one, maybe you could.
Oh my gosh. But we'll move on to the next helmet that we've got up here.
I just think of Deion Sanders.
This one, okay, the Deion Sanders comparison. This is the Atlanta Falcons' new look with the all red. Otherwise, pretty similar as far as the helmet goes.
Why is the Falcon so distorted?
No, that's how it used to look. That's how it used to be. Is it
just like way longer than usually?
No, I don't think it's.
Are you sure, dude?
It's a little different for sure, but I don't think it's like a crazy difference. It could be. That's also a retro look for them, I believe. A lot of these, like the Patriots, the Cowboys, I believe this Atlanta one as well, they're all the retro looks. They still are obviously the alternate helmets, so they still fit in that rule where they can only wear them for like 2 games out of the year.
Yeah, so look.
But this is a retro look for them.
That's like their one right now.
It could also be, and like coming from a photographer, it could also be the focal length this picture was taken at. Like things do get distorted depending on, but they could have changed it up a little bit and tweaked it for the helmet. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. They just released the image of these, and that's kind of all we get told.
Is that Drake London, by the way?
Is that?
Is it AJ Terrell?
Oh, that is Terrell.
Is it Terrell?
I see the 4.
Yeah, the 24.
Yeah.
24, that's Terrell, yeah.
Definitely ain't Desmond Ridder. His big ass head couldn't fit in that.
Yeah, boy.
we like that one though.
You see Ridder has like a 90 speed in Madden?
Here we go. Does he? Wait a minute. What?
It's like an 88.
That's wild. He can move like that?
Oh, yeah.
I believe it. Don't. Let me check.
Yeah, you can pull it up. But let's look at the next helmet here. These ones I'm kind of interested to get your guys' take on these. These alternates from the Arizona Cardinals. Now, they give the list here, and they actually give the games these will be worn too. So it says alternate helmet worn with the alternate uniform and color rush uniforms. That'll be August 21st against the Ravens, October 9th against the Eagles, and October 20th against the Saints. And they even give like a little breakdown of the helmet here. I kind of appreciate it. It says the shiny gloss black shelf with red flecks, and then the iridescent chrome decals with a gradient screen and a black face mask, and black clips. It's like they're explaining a 4-course meal to us.
That screams Louisville Cardinals to me. Screams Louisville.
Oh,
Cardinals.
100%. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that before you said that, but now that I see it, I can't unsee it.
I can just see Lamar Jackson rocking those black helmets back
100%.
Yeah,
yeah, that's totally Louisville.
Also, Ritter's an 85 speed. So
okay, more reasonable, but still good.
His agility's 90.
Wow, that's wild. But what do we think about these? They had a cool little reveal video. They had Kyler, they had JJ, they had, I'm trying to think who else was in that video. They had a few guys.
They do have black jerseys too, so that'd be really cool.
They do, so it'll pair well with it. Like a lot of these guys, it's kind of the route that we've seen them going. But moving on to the next one here, Jimmy, what do we think of these bad boys?
Jimmy, that's your boy.
I'm a big Roquan Smith fan over here. I'll have plenty to say about Roquan here in about 15 minutes. But
what do we think of the all orange? I saw it immediately and I hated it, and now I'm not too bad on it.
I definitely don't hate it because I've always liked the orange jerseys, but they've never worn the orange helmets before. To my knowledge, I do not believe I've ever seen these. This looks a lot like the Fighting Illini.
They wore these last year.
It does look like
not the orange helmets.
The orange jerseys.
Yeah, they were the orange jerseys. That was on my birthday. They were the orange jerseys every year.
Whenever I think of like a team wearing a jersey or something, I always think of a player that I can remember them in.
No, it's
I remember
true for
Fields
sure.
running around in the orange jersey.
And the Browns tried to take a shot at them on social media by saying like, "Hey, nice helmet idea," because and it's just all orange.
Dude,
but
like, what are they supposed to do?
Exactly. I know.
Yeah. Okay, Cleveland, go hire another.
Don't even go there.
Sorry.
Jackass. But like I said, when I initially saw it, I was not a fan, admittedly, and now like the more I look at it, the more I think like these have potential to be badass.
I do like those.
Yeah, I'm kind of with them. But moving on, next one here. Where are we at? Here we go. These could be between these and the next one. We'll see. These could be my favorites. These are the new All Blacks from the Jets. Man, these are clean. To me, these are clean. And I remember, if you remember, when we talked about the Saints helmets, they had the all black with the black face mask as well.
Yeah.
And I said, man, it would be sweet if they had a chrome face mask that was whatever the hell that color is.
Yeah.
The Jets fucking
they probably listened,
did it.
Bro.
They probably did. That's probably exactly why this happened. But I'm telling you, I think that makes the helmet.
They might win more than 4 games next year.
Like, those are so clean, dude. They're not trying to do too much either. That's the thing.
AKA,
they're so clean.
So your little Jets comment.
You really think the Jets are gonna be good next year, don't you?
I think they're gonna be better than the Lions.
I think they're very comparable.
I think it'll be really close. I think the Jets might have like one more win than the Lions this year. It'll be close. Neither of them will be very good.
Think about the division they play in, though. That's something that I would tell you.
Jimmy, let me tell you this
bat.
right now. You better hope they're not better than the Lions, or else I might jump off Black Rocks and not come back up.
Jesus. Come on now. That's a little extreme, I think.
Oh my gosh.
It's a joke, obviously.
Yeah, we know it is.
No, we know it's a joke. Yeah.
These helmets are no joke.
No, yeah.
I love these. These
very cool.
So far, I think my favorite out of the ones that we've seen. Can we agree? What's the? Let's look at the last couple here, and then we can decide on the ones that we like the most. This is actually the last one.
These are
this
very
was
cool.
the other one that could definitely
I can
be
see
my favorite.
Baker in these.
Oh my god.
And we are going to see Baker in these, dude.
I hope
arm sleeve.
Dude, I hope Baker listen, and I know
I do too. I really like Baker.
I like Baker, dude. I love how he's like a total underdog and like he's been overlooked by a lot of people.
These helmets are fucking sick.
It's my favorite by far.
Is that Brian Burns in that there, by the way?
That I don't know. Who's
Burns?
53? You can't even see his face.
I think it's Brian Burns.
No,
Tyshawn would know.
I think that's
Tyshawn would know. Tyshawn couldn't make it tonight.
I think
He's
I'm
eating
almost
pizza.
positive that's Brian Burns. I will look right now.
You should call Ty.
I think Burns is up as a higher number.
You know what would make this uniform even sweeter? If Burns or whoever this mystery man is had the blue
That
gloves.
is in fact Brian Burns.
If Burns had the blue gloves right now, that neon blue for the gloves.
Bro, Robbie Anderson, he's about to rock that bitch.
Robbie Anderson's about to love that,
he's
bro.
about to. Well, he's not gonna love his quarterback, but he's gonna love the uniform.
No, I don't think. Remember we watched the interview. He wasn't like hating on Baker. He
Well,
was more
he
saying
also-
like, he loved Sam Darnold more. Like
He didn't love Baker though.
no, I'm just saying. I didn't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
He commented on an Instagram post. He was like,
Oh.
no.
No, because
We talked about it,
talked
yeah.
about it. It's because he played with Darnold in New York and he played with him here. They've
Yeah.
but it's definitely sus.
You still can't say that.
Either way,
yeah.
whoever the hell is suiting up for Carolina, gonna look clean
Hell
this
yeah.
season. So those are the favorites for us.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'd say
I'm
so.
sticking with my pick. These guys.
I love the green. I
love-
like the
I
Jets one.
love
like
the
Jets
green.
too.
Every
like
time
the
I
Jets
see
too.
that Jets, I just say in my head like JETS.
Jets.
I don't know why. It just I don't know.
That's hilarious, dude. But I believe that's all as far as the alternate helmets go. That was quick though. Like we got through that. But man, like so many good helmets.
Good for
coming
the
out of
NFL, dude. Finally getting out of their
for the
bubble.
NFL.
Finally.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We need that. Like we actually need that.
We're so black and white, dude. Like you just gotta like finally step out. Like the color rush was a huge step for the NFL. Getting those color rush unis.
Agreed, because those are different, man. Those jerseys are
That
different.
Seahawks lime green, that had to be the best selling jersey in for 3 months straight. The Russell Wilson Seahawks jersey.
I believe it,
It had to be.
I believe it.
As soon as it came out.
But moving on now to Kyler Murray, guys. We're going to talk about Kyler Murray. And I just totally butchered that. Kyler Murray. We're going to talk about his contract. And not really broad his contract, more specifically a clause in his contract. As we know, he signed a new $230 million contract. But in that contract, the Cardinals mandate that Murray has to do, quote, a minimum of 4 hours of what they call independent game study every week. And before we break this down, we have a copy of said contract here to look at so you can actually see it, the viewers who are watching this on YouTube. And it says here, players shall complete at least 4 hours of independent study as defined below each week, excluding any bye week, during each playing season, as defined below, during the term of the contract. So through the entirety of his contract, he's got to go in and basically watch a lot of film. Jimmy, you got the hand raised. Go for it.
It's the first thing on the contract.
Well, I don't know. I don't
technically the first thing, but like the first, like
you know how many
one,
pages these probably are. I doubt this is the first page.
I just saw number one.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I had not read this yet, but it was alarming. That was the
Also,
first thing
above
I
that
saw.
number one, if you look on the contract, there's a 3 right to the left of that red box. So this could be like the third page or something.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
So there's no way this is that. The money
But
has to be
if
number
you think
one.
about this, like this is actually ridiculous because I think as a middle school quarterback at Walden Middle School, I probably had way more than 4 hours.
No way.
Are you kidding? Kobe, that's 30 minutes a day watching film.
That's true.
Yeah, come
That's
on
true.
now.
Yeah, that's true.
You're telling me I wasn't in ELA 6 watching Scripps versus Oakview? Like, that's not that difficult. For me, that's a red flag. That is not,
huge
that's a
red
red
flag.
flag.
That's horrible,
That
dude.
is not very big trust in your 5-year, 6-year now quarterback. That's going to be there for
I
the
don't know
next.
if it's been that long, but
No, I'm saying he's going to be there for the next 6
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
They did just invest a lot of money into this guy too, and for
For a
him to
guy
put that
to-
in there,
yeah.
for him to potentially not be, and he has actually come out and said in the past that he's not much of a film guy, and I pulled up an
Yeah.
article here kind of talking about it.
That's crazy.
But yeah, when we look back in 2021, he says that he can visualize what was going on during games thanks to great cognitive skills, so he doesn't feel that he needs to watch a lot of quote extra film.
Oh, so he's the last Jedi.
Is what he said. What?
That's what he's pretty much
Last
saying.
Jedi?
Yeah.
Okay, go ask like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes if they watch film, and because they're way better than.
Well, obviously
Let
they
me
watch
call
film,
him.
but like how much? Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
but
That's
like-
the thing. Jesus.
You're picking up what I'm putting down, though.
Yeah, I know what you're
100%.
saying.
If you want to be great, you got to do the extra shit.
Here is the quote from Murray in 2021, and he says here, for those not watching on YouTube that can't see it, he says, quote, "I think I was blessed with the cognitive skills to just go out there and see it before it happens. I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit there and kill myself watching film. I don't sit there for 24 hours and break down this team and that team and watch every game because in my head, I see so much. Basically, I'm better than all of you. I don't need to do all that work. I can go out there." No, I'm kidding. But that's kind of what he implies.
Kinda. That's kind of what he's saying.
Kind of what he's saying. Subtly.
I'm smarter than all the other quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't need to watch a film.
If that's like actually true,
Go ask
That's a
Peyton
quote.
Manning how
That is
much.
a quote.
no. I'm saying like he's not
Oh, okay.
bullshitting.
Yeah.
Like sick. But dude, you're an NFL quarterback. I wouldn't be publicly about that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That quote right there is not. And now too, it's funny because obviously it's come around to basically bite him in the ass, right? Because now, like, how many quarterbacks have that type of stipulation in their deal? It's kind of ridiculous. And I know one that comes up. I watch some of the features they do for the Rams. They did one on Matthew Stafford, going through his house, and it was cool. He's got a lot of his old Lions stuff still featured in there, which is obviously really sweet because it means a lot to him. But the one thing that he talked about in his room, this is why I bring this up, is that his tablet or his iPad or whatever he's got there watching at his desk, the Rams actually got it hooked up, so he has like, I don't know what kind of connection they have, but he's got all their film and stuff. He can do basically like he's in the facility right from his house, which is really neat. And obviously, like,
So what happens when you go to LA?
At the NFL level, it's a lot more than just like uploading it to the cloud and like whatever. Like they have a lot more in-depth things, so he can work in real time with the facility. And he talked about how often he's in that room. Let me tell you, it's a lot more than 4 hours a week.
And I mean, won the Super Bowl last year, so
he's doing something right, we think, right? So, I mean, you kind of said it. It feels childish for this type of stipulation to be in an NFL quarterback's contract.
I mean, I haven't seen the other NFL quarterbacks' contracts.
That's ridiculous, dude.
Nothing
That's
else.
ridiculous.
Nothing else has broke the surface of anything like that.
You know who Dad would freaking flip a lid, Kobe, if he saw that. He would. Jim Manzo, he's probably going to watch this, but I know you just absolutely hate that.
Oh, that is great, dude.
He'd say, "You're getting paid $200. Oh, shoot. I can't hear. You're getting paid $230 million. I got to tell you to watch film? Not my quarterback."
Hell no. But we'll talk about a quarterback that's being endorsed by one of his teammates and not being taken down, and that is Tua Tagovailoa by his newly acquired wide receiver. I guess not so newly acquired wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. He's seriously gone too far with his Tua praise, in my opinion. Like he's doubled down on this, just gloating basically about Tua, and he says the Dolphins QB is the most accurate in the league. And the way this was spurred up in conversation, I guess, he was asked about what factors contributed to him choosing the Dolphins over the Jets as far as where his free agency took him.
I wonder.
Yeah, and he says Jets. Well, he didn't say Jets quarterback, but he says Zach Wilson is a dog, but I'd rather play with the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. That was his comment.
See,
and he was asked to clarify on it and expand on his comments, and this is what he had to say about Tua. He says, quote, "I mean, obviously Tua, he's not your typical gunslinger, but if you were just to pay attention to his game," I gotta put the camera on it, Jimmy, "everything is spot on, everything is pinpoint. You know, ball is on time. His fundamentals on point. Tua, he's a expletive, heck of a competitor, probably hell of a competitor, or no? Oh,
No, it's F word. It's F word. It's F word.
He's a fuck of a competitor. Wait, what does that even mean?
I'm pretty sure.
It is. He's a hell of a hard worker. That's what the cheetah said. I know your guys' takes on this, but it does say here before you go on short passes last season. Short passes probably below 10 yards, right? But somewhere in that ballpark. Tua led the league in accuracy with a percentage of 71.3%.
Yeah, and this is my thing.
Short
with the whole I know you guys, I know your side on this, and I know we've talked about it before, but I think right now what Tyreek's doing is huge for Tua. I think it's huge
boosting his confidence.
Well, no,
sure.
this is the thing. This is the thing. If you're a guy like Tua, you've had your struggles, right? You've had what, 2 head coaches now. You've had a guy that didn't believe in you, and now a guy that's all on the Tua boat. So if you're gonna be, you either got to be all on board or all off. You know what I mean? You can't be stuck in the middle. And I think Cheetah kind of sees this, and he sees that Tua's a younger guy, and he probably hasn't taken it the best way. You know what I mean? Like the hate and all that shit. But
yeah,
I think what Tyreek's doing is it's obviously it's what do I want to? It's very bold. It's very bold.
We can agree on that.
But do I really think Tyreek Hill believes that? No. but I think that he gets what's going on.
Especially for this year, going in for Tua, this is a make or break it year as far as how much time. And this conversation changes because the NFL, the structure of the NFL right now, the basic formula and structure of a team when you want to win a lot of games, it seems like, and this formula is not tried and true. We've seen guys like Matt Stafford and Tom Brady win the Super Bowl the last 2 years. But if you get a really solid rookie quarterback on a rookie deal and you have money to build around this quarterback and highlight his better features, that seems to be a fast lane to a lot of success. We've seen guys like Lamar Jackson do it, Justin Herbert do it. We've seen a lot of other guys do that. And that's what the blueprint, I think, for a lot of NFL teams has been. Tua is at the end of that line. Mm-hmm. He's getting close to where he's going to have to do another contract or go to another team. This is his third year. Okay. Right?
Yeah, I believe.
It's his third year. So it's going to be very interesting as far as what this looks like. And I think going into this year, any and all confidence that he has is huge for him, for that franchise. And like you said, new head coach, a lot of new things over in Miami, and they have a good chance to be really good. They have a really solid roster around Tua. For that reason that I just said, they're not paying Tua a shitload of money, so they can afford to put a lot of really nice pieces around him. And their defense, I think, has been one of the more stout in that division.
I'm excited for the Dolphins. Sure. I do like the Dolphins.
Yeah, they've been solid.
They'll fall short of the playoffs this year.
I do think so too, but I hope they have a good year.
And I say that too because look at the AFC, man. The AFC is ridiculous
the Dolphins
right
do
now.
not stand a chance in the AFC.
That's what I'm saying. If they're in the NFC, they're a playoff team. I don't think. No doubt.
They'll be as good as their defense is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it's been in the last couple of years. But talking about another quarterback that is going into a prove-it year, that's Lamar Jackson, right? And he has been blatantly disrespected time and time again, but a guy that his confidence never wavers. He always continues to bet on himself. And before we get to talking about his contract situation and kind of what goes into what that looks like here, the future of Baltimore in the next couple of years, we're going to take a look at a quote from who is supposedly a unanimous defensive coordinator that is currently in the league. He had this to say about Deshaun Watson. Wow. About Lamar Jackson. Excuse me. He says, quote, we getting up to read it? Quote, I don't give a shit if he wins the league MVP 12 times. I don't think he'll ever be a 1 as a quarterback. He'll be a 1 as a football player, but not as a quarterback.
What makes him say that? Sorry. What makes him say that? Like, what leads him to believe that Lamar Jackson is not a legit NFL quarterback?
What stat is showing him that?
There is nothing that Lamar needs to prove.
Sense.
Yeah,
it does not make any sense. Look at that tweet from Warren Sharp in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Warren Sharp for this tweet. He says,
outside the numbers, number 1 in yards per attempt, number 1 in success rate, number 1 in EPA per attempt. I don't know what that means, but either way,
pass attempts.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Or something.
Passing, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a ridiculous claim.
He's still first. Whatever.
Yeah, I'd be very intrigued to find out who said this. It has to be like a division rival or someone that like
I said, a personal vendetta, something other against Lamar.
He must have gone to Michigan or something.
That's crazy.
It's wild, and that was actually one of my stats. My stat of the day for today is that just like showing that Lamar really is that guy. If you remember that overtime win over the Colts last year.
Oh, I remember.
We remember that game.
Yeah,
Lamar is the first. At the time was the first player in NFL history with at least 400 passing yards and a completion percentage of above 85%.
Ridiculous.
The dude
he was like 38 of 44.
Dude, it was unreal.
Bro, the dude took a shit in the fourth quarter, came out and beat the Browns.
I was at that game.
No pun intended.
Yeah,
took a shit and then beat the Browns.
Literally waddled into the locker room.
Took a shit and then beat the Browns.
He dropped off the Browns at the pool.
Well, Justin Tucker beat the Browns.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. But Lamar
literally beat the Browns. Yeah. Like he beat them.
Gosh. He took the Browns to the Super Bowl and then took them out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, really. Literally. Flushed them away.
Dropped the kids off at the pool.
He flushed them away. That's good. But like back to our point, like this blatant disrespect of Lamar, he has nothing to prove at this point.
Yeah.
The MVP was like an obvious, but like he's won a playoff game now. And now like you look at that roster last year, they were the 1 seed. For a moment
they had nobody.
That's what I was about to say. They were so injury plagued, it was unreal. And so if you're looking as Lamar and as anyone on that Baltimore roster, you got to look at that and be like, if we can compete at this high of a level with this many injuries and this many things not going our way, who the hell can't we beat when we're healthy? And the answer to me is no one. Even in the AFC.
The Ravens are going to win the AFC North, and they're going to be really, really good. I think the Bengals are going to be right up there with them. I think the Baltimore and Cincinnati both get in from that division, I think.
Yep, agreed.
But I think Baltimore wins the North. That's what I think.
If we had a hot take today, I would say the Bengals will make the playoffs next year.
That
can be your hot take. That's not,
If
AFC's loaded,
one time wonder.
I
don't think one time wonder, but I think last year. I just think last year was. I think last year was way too good. You know what I mean? Like everything just fell into place.
Yeah, but dude, Joe Burrow is like legit. He's like,
I mean, yeah, but
he's flirting with like the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. He's flirting
right now. Yeah.
Look at them.
Are we talking about top 5 quarterbacks in the league? Is that what we're talking about?
Is that what we are talking about?
So Madden did release the top 10 quarterbacks overall in the league, and wait a minute, Joe is on that list. He's at number 5. So here is the yep. We're gonna break it down for those of you who are listening to the podcast. So I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of these top 10 quarterbacks. These are the Madden ratings. Number 1, Tom Brady. At a 97, that's a
led the league in touchdowns and yards last year. Thank you.
Yeah,
all right, boys, that's where I'm out.
But then number 2, it goes on number 2. You have Aaron Rodgers at number 2 after back-to-back MVP. As much as I don't like Aaron Rodgers, he deserves to be that number 1.
He should be 99.
Unreal, dude. That's robbery. He's a
fuck
96.
you, Tom Brady. Fuck you. I've never heard of a guy that say he's going to retire, come back and be a 97.
Let me ask you something, Kobe. Let me ask both of you guys a question. So, how does Madden rate people? Like you guys don't know, do you?
Attributes, skills.
Well, they have a group of evaluators that do certain positions.
They don't rate him on how many rings he has.
So, but let me ask you guys a question. I know Cade's visually upset with the fact that Tom Brady's ahead of Aaron Rodgers on this list. You're Super Bowl. Who would you want playing quarterback for your team in the Super Bowl?
Right now?
No. Tom Brady.
That's the argument is that Aaron
in the Super Bowl, who do you want?
But that's not what the rating.
No,
does,
I'm just asking you.
You're telling me Patrick Mahomes is not more skilled than Tom Brady?
No, he is. He totally is.
So if you're going off attributes, then you're doubling back on your earlier comment.
The what?
Your what's the word? But if he's
contradicting.
Your contradictory statement right there.
We're going off of skills. I mean, yeah, sure.
Let me finish the list. Can I finish the list for those who are listening?
Yeah.
Tom Brady, number 1. Aaron Rodgers, number 2. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes. Number 4, Josh Allen. Joey B is at number 5. Number 6 is Dak Prescott. Number 7, Justin Herbert. Number 8, let's ride, Russell Wilson. Number 9, Lamar Jackson. And number 10, Matthew Stafford at number 10? And Dak at 6?
Bro, he always gets disrespected. It's Staff.
Even after last year? I mean, it's just ridiculous
to
me.
Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
He did lead the league in picks last year. I will say.
But I believe he had the second most passing yards in the playoffs in NFL history or something of that nature.
Favre threw a shit ton of picks.
No, I'm not.
No, I know.
Matthew Stafford should be way higher on this list.
I know you like Stafford. I'm
a huge Stafford guy. Yeah. I think Herbert should be ahead of Dak. I think Lamar should be ahead of Dak. And I think Matthew Stafford should be ahead of Dak. I think Dak should be 10.
I agree with all of those.
I'm going to move Herbert up to 6. I'm going to put Stafford at 7, Lamar at 8, Russ at 9, and Dak at 10.
I do love Dak Prescott, though. Not even as a football player, but just as a dude.
Yeah, of course.
He's been through the freaking
It's easy to like him.
And I know that has nothing to do with the ratings.
Yeah.
But I do think Herbert...
And we've seen what Dak can do. Dak can be an elite level quarterback, but the conversation every year is he's going to be MVP. He's gonna be
Matthew Stafford is better than Dak Prescott.
I would say so, yes.
And he's just fallen short. And whether it be because of injuries, we haven't really gotten to see the entire being that is Dak Prescott or whatever that is. But man, it's just tough for me to look at that list and really take that seriously. The Tom Brady thing had me scratching my head a little bit.
When are we going to get away from this idiot?
It just has to be a nod to
why do you hate him so much, man?
I don't really understand.
Dude,
but
he put a freaking TikTok out the other day of him hitting a little putt and then come back. Get the hell off of TikTok.
So that's why.
You're just a hater.
When we watch those
I'm not
videos,
a hater.
that's how you know
totally
those
are.
videos are edited for sure because he works with some really talented visual effects artists. But let's take a look at the top 10 teams in Madden 23, and guess who's on this listed in the graphic as well?
He's gonna be in my freaking nightmares, dude.
Madden 23 top 10 teams. Number 1, no surprise here.
Oh God.
Buccaneers 92 overall. You go down to the Bills at 89. The Rams are in third at 88. Then the Packers, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Cowboys at an 86. What are we doing? America's team? Does that really hold that much value still?
Oh my God.
That is crazy to me. The Cowboys are 86, and then you go down. The Chiefs are below, or it's not below technically, but tied with the Cowboys in a rating. Then the 49ers, the Eagles, which I actually agree with that pick, and then the Bengals.
Can we please figure out who does this?
I would love to know who does this.
Jail.
Dude. That Cowboy pick is atrocious.
You know how PMT has like the jail board, how they like list all the guys with jail? Whoever Madden EA ratings guy right here it should be put on that board, on that list.
By the way, we always get Be Real while we're doing the podcast.
Is that right now?
Yeah, the Be Real is right now, so hop on that.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, you can do it right now. But dude, I mean, looking at this is just it's blasphemous, dude. Those top teams, like, yeah, I understand that the Ravens for sure, like Packers have a good roster, Rams, Bills, you understand like that. The Chargers even like Chargers is kind of a tough pick. But the Cowboys is brutal. Dude.
Well, the Chargers.
They got J.C. Jackson.
That's true. Yeah. Big time additions this year. They added to what was already actually a good roster. So I guess I can understand.
And they got Slater going to his second year.
I like the Eagles pick up here. The Eagles roster could be very good this year.
The Eagles are winning the division.
And not according to Madden because they're behind the Cowboys.
I don't care. The Eagles are going to win the NFC East.
I'm with you on that. But we look at otherwise division representation. It's crazy too when you talk about the NFC East. We were calling it the NFC least last year. Like this division was just devoid.
That's Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders.
Giants and Commanders.
Okay.
This division was void of all talent, it felt like, especially after Dak got hurt and some of these other teams were losing guys. And now you've got two of these teams, whether we like the ratings or not, we have two of the teams from the division in the top 10 rankings on Madden. Because, really it's because of that. 11. I would say really it's because of that rule. The one was the division winner, and also like the wild card was kind of a toss-up in the NFC.
The Eagles were like 9-8 last year.
Yeah, that's not a play. Like, to be real.
Hashtag be real.
Literally.
No, it's not. It's respectable. It's respectable.
I don't
saying they're going to be great. They're going to be good this year.
I don't think the Eagles were ready to play a playoff game last year. This year, I think they will be.
I don't think they were either.
I'm actually high on the Eagles this year. I think they'll be all right.
I don't think there's a reason not to be.
I think they'll be all right. I'm a big Hurts guy. I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy.
Yeah, they're gonna be more than all right for sure. Otherwise, we have a few other headlines to react to here. But dude, this episode's gonna be long, boy.
Yeah,
this episode's gonna be long, but it's gonna be a good one. Let's jump. Let's see here. Let's jump right into this from the Houston Texans. This news that we got just the other day. Absolutely awful. Something that you never want to hear about in sports. But John Metchie III, the Houston Texans' first-round draft pick, he's out for the season after being diagnosed with a form of leukemia. This is his official statement posted by the Texans. He says, quote, this is from John Metchie. Recently, I was diagnosed with APL, acute promyelectic leukemia. I hope I pronounced that correctly. The most curable form of leukemia is what he says, which is, good words from him. Obviously, he's optimistic about this. I'm currently receiving great medical care. I'm in good spirits, and I expect to make a recovery at a later point in time. As a result of this diagnosis, I will likely not be playing football this season. My main focus will be on health and recovery. Thank you in advance for your support and well wishes. I cannot wait to come back stronger than ever. God bless.
That
is the kind of response I love to see from somebody.
You have to, for sure.
Listen, this is just a tragedy of a situation. Like, I'm not even gonna really speak on it because this is just horrible. But I am very impressed with how he worded himself, and I'm sure he had people help him or whatever.
And people were saying too. I was reading a lot about the treatment.
I have so much respect for this guy.
The treatment that he is receiving in that area, I guess, is supposedly some of the best in the country. And obviously, when you're in the NFL and you have those connections, especially being a first-round draft pick, you're going to have, believe it or not, you're going to have some pull as far as where you go to get that treatment because that organization, that franchise invested a lot in him. And we want to see him out on the football field, but obviously this takes precedent over that. So
it's bigger than football when you look at it.
100%. And it's going to be tough, but just because of how much promise he showed at the college level, and obviously being such a highly touted prospect out of Alabama, correct?
Correct.
And just being part of that insane wide receiver corps over the last 5 years now. Mm-hmm. So it just stinks, man. It really sucked to hear that news. One of those things that you just can't.
It was so out of the blue too, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I just saw it on Twitter. That's it. But prayers up to.
I'm assuming that's how it was for him. He just got, he didn't really know. He probably went in for was feeling, maybe funny or had a certain spot. I don't know how that worked. It wouldn't have been a spot because I'm in skin cancer. Leukemia is cancer of the blood. So he must have just been maybe feeling a little lightheaded or something.
It's heartbreaking. Hopefully with speedy recovery to John Metchie.
Yep.
Exactly. Now,
speedy recovery.
Not to stay on this downward boat, guys, but we also got some other not so great news about another wide receiver, that being rookie Chiefs wide receiver Justyn Ross. He is going to be out for the season. He was placed on the injured reserve after going yet another foot surgery. This guy's been through the gauntlet, man. This guy has been through the gauntlet. Coming out of Clemson, correct?
He was balling at Clemson. National championships, dude. Him and Deshaun.
And so he went through some very brutal injuries, and, you know, he was an undrafted free agent for the Chiefs because no one really wanted to take a chance on him with his injury history. And people had been saying that, you know, this guy's the guy that's going to come out and prove a ton of people wrong.
He was at college for like 6 years, right? 5 years?
He was there for a very long time.
Because he played with Deshaun Watson for a year.
I want to say he did. He did for sure, actually.
Definitely.
They played in the college. They played in the national championship against probably Bama. Like, let's be real.
I think I remember a really crazy play he had against Pitt. It was at Pitt. It was actually when Pitt beat Clemson. He had like a crazy touchdown. I think it was him. I'd have to go back and look. But.
So his final season at Clemson ended early when he had foot surgery last November. And Ross, going back to his final year with the Tigers, he caught 46 passes, 514 yards, 3 touchdowns. He missed the entire 2020 season after being diagnosed with a congenital fusion in his spine that required surgery. Like I said, this dude has been through the gauntlet as far as injuries are concerned. So he was, according to The Athletic, the number 148 prospect in the draft. After all of that injuries, like, he still remained to be an elite level college football player. So it's just, again, tough to hear this type of news. Obviously hoping, wishing him the best recovery. And I just also was surprised, too. It must be just because he's had prior surgeries probably on this foot. An entire year to be out from foot surgery. Seems like a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not doubting the toughness or the perseverance of a guy like Justyn Ross. I'm just saying that seems like a lot. I'm assuming it has to be with that pre-existing condition.
It depends on, like, the kind of, like, part of, like, the bone it probably is, too. I'd have to, like, know the anatomy of it and everything, too. You know what I mean? There's more that goes into it. But I guess, I don't know. We'll see.
100%.
Speed recovery, Yeah.
Now, a guy that we may or may not be seeing this year. It depends. Jim's excited to talk about this one. Yeah, a little bit of change of mood here. But again, we don't know if we're going to see this guy either. Roquan Smith will not be present when veterans arrive at Bears training camp Tuesday because of his contract situation, per Ian Rappaport. Smith has still not gotten, quote, an offer he would remotely consider.
Okay, so I have...
That's got to be a stab in the wall. I don't even know what.
I have here why the Bears should extend Roquan Smith. May I?
Go for it,
Can I go?
I'm going to just go for it.
Okay. So Roquan Smith got drafted, I believe it was 8th overall in the 2018 NFL Draft. I was sitting in my basement, and I was praying that they would pick this kid from Georgia because I watched him play against in the Rose Bowl against Oklahoma. I was like, oh, my God, like the Bears need this guy. Like, they need to get this guy. So since he's got to the league, he has had 100-plus tackles every year of his career, whether that's solo, combined, whatever. 101, 120, 139, 163. He had 163 tackles in one season.
That's like unheard of. That's ridiculous numbers.
So he is back-to-back second-team All-Pro. He has the third most combined tackles in the NFL since 2018, and he has the most solo tackles in the NFL since he has gotten to the league.
Damn.
What are the Bears waiting for? I'm repping the how we doing? Is that be real, Kobe? Nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice. So tonight I'm wearing a very special jersey. I'm wearing one of the greatest linebackers of all time on my back tonight. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Dick Butkus, number 51. Went to U of I. The Bears simply know how to produce linebackers. You go back as far as their history goes. Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs,
There's
Otis
a long
Wilson,
list for
Wilbur
sure.
Marshall, and dude, like, and now it's Roquan Smith. You're passing the torch to this guy. I just don't understand what they're waiting for. I talked about Roquan on the pod last time. He's one of the most underrated players in the entire league.
Yeah, like, underappreciated.
He's probably like top 5 or top 10 most underrated players in the league. Back-to-back second-team All-Pros. Leads the league. He's had the most solo tackles in the NFL since 2018. I bet you a lot of people don't even know who he is. A handful of people that are, like
more casual football
like
fans.
Your buddy, your buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, Roquan Smith, Bears linebacker. A lot of people like, who?
Yeah.
But you'd say Bobby Wagner, everyone knows who that is. Or like, you know what I mean?
True. Yeah. No.
It's casuals.
Exactly.
Filthy
and Roquan
casuals.
Smith is in that conversation as the best middle linebacker in the NFL. He is right up there. He leads the league. He has the most tackles in the NFL since 2008.
So I'll say it for the fourth time.
I'll say it for the fifth time.
He's a Lions killer.
I will I will continue to have Roquan Smith's back throughout this entire process.
He's a ball hawk, dude. He finds where the ball is.
I am livid with the Chicago Bears franchise right now. I'm repping them. I'm repping.
Burn the jersey right now.
No. Let's take it down a notch there, Kobe. Come on. But yeah, that's my take. I was hyping my take up on Instagram today. I know there's gonna be a lot of Bears fans tuning in from back home. We got a lot of support from Arlington Heights, Mount Prospect.
You're gonna have to get to the end of this episode, bro. We are like, we're like an hour 20 in.
This will be its own YouTube clip. Probably.
We might.
I would hope so.
Oh, thanks, Jim.
Might. There's a lot of clips coming out of this. We'll see. We'll see if it makes sense.
I hope so.
He's like, I'm going to go back and edit it, probably make it this his own clip.
I'm just, whatever. Sorry.
You're good. That was funny.
I mean, if like Jimmy said, like, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but get your head out of your ass. Like, sign this guy.
Come on.
Or come to the Lions, one of the two.
Yeah, we'd be fine with that. Hey,
yeah.
You know, I'm all in on Alex Anzalone. I will say I'm kind of a fan of him. I will say, but
he played his ass off last year.
I would take Roquan Smith over Anzalone.
Oh yeah, no shit.
He's the best linebacker in the. He's the best linebacker in the division. He's probably the. I mean, I don't know if you.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, I can't put him ahead of Bobby Wagner. I just can't do it. I can't do it. But actually, Bobby Wagner's kind of getting older.
Guys like what's his name for the 49ers? Is it Fred Warner?
In the division. Roquan Smith's better than Fred Warner too. He is.
Fred Warner's a really good backer.
He is good. You want me to pull up all the stats from last year? Like they don't even compare.
Sorry.
I will pull up the stats. Next time, I'll have a PowerPoint ready for you next time, actually.
That'd be fantastic.
Just compare all these, because Roquan Smith has gotten totally gypped out of first-team All-Pro several times.
I believe that.
Like, it just blows my mind.
I believe it.
How do you lead the NFL in tackles over the last 4 years and not have one first-team All-Pro? How does that make sense?
That is a crazy stat.
How does that make sense? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done.
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was all I had. That's all I have for the podcast. If you made it this far, we appreciate you.
I have to put this in there because we were talking about it earlier.
Is this your stat of the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that was my stat of the day of the tackles, by the way. So.
Great.
Yeah. Just a weird basketball fact for the basketball fans out there. If you guys recall, Blake Griffin had a stint with the Detroit Pistons.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
it's gonna be the
dunks? Yes.
Come on, Kobe. Let him say it.
So there was a time. He didn't dunk a basketball from December 12th of 2019 to 2021, a drought spanning nearly 15 months. And then he gets traded. This is what I'm saying. I will never forgive Blake Griffin for this. He should never win Blake of the Year again, ever. Because he didn't try the Pistons. He literally sold, dude. He didn't dunk a single game for the Pistons that whole year. Granted, he was hurt. He was an all-star the year before that, but they sucked, so it didn't matter. He goes to the Nets and is throwing down alley-oops from freaking Kyrie and KD, dude. Like, he didn't dunk for 2 years. And he won a dunk contest.
And what's crazy,
jumped over
too...
a car.
Exactly, bro. How do you not?
He jumped over a game.
You literally dunk for a living, bro.
What's crazy, too, is that if you would have told someone that stat... Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Is if you would have told someone about that 4 or 5 years earlier, when he's over there with CP3 and like they're throwing these jams down over everyone, it felt like,
dude.
and you're gonna be like, he's not gonna throw down a dunk
for
Blake Griffin.
Like, come on! I just saw that. I know that stat's out there, and I know that people have kind of like people probably know that, but like if you don't, like it's a crazy stat, dude. You would never think of that Blake Griffin. Watching Blake Griffin highlights, he didn't dunk for 2 years.
It's unreal.
You have a stat for us, Kobe?
I already get my Lamar stat.
That's right.
We're gonna wrap it up here because this is gonna be like an hour 30 pod. So
that was fun.
But thank you all for listening. This has been Division 1 Rejects, episode 69.
69. Nice.
It has definitely been a great one. It's been a loaded one, fellas. Thank you very much.
Appreciate y'all.
That's all it. Thank y'all.